I know not why I am so sad. It wearies me. You say it wearies you. But how I caught it, came by it, what stuff 'tis made of, or whereof it is born, I am yet to learn. And such a want-wit sadness makes of me, that I have much ado to know myself.
Your mind is tossing on the ocean, there where your argosies with portly sail, like signors and rich burghers on the flood, do overpeer the petty traffickers, that curtsy to them, do them reverence as they fly by them with their woven wings.
Believe me, sir, had I such venture forth, my affections would be with my hopes abroad. I should be still plucking the grass to see where sits the wind, and any object that might make me fear misfortune to my venture, out of doubt would make me sad.
My wind cooling my broth would blow me to an ague when I thought what a harm a wind too great at sea might do. I should not see the sandy hourglass front, but I should think of shallows and flats, and not bethink me straight of dangerous rocks, which but touching my gentle vessel's side, would scatter all of her spices into the streams, and robe the warring water in my silks. And in a word, even now, worth this, and now worth nothing? Shall I have the thought to think on this, or shall I lack the thought? It would make me sad. Tell not me. I know Antonio is sad to think upon his merchandise.
Believe me, no. My ventures are not in one bottom trusted, nor in one place, nor are my fortunes for all in 1 year. Therefore, my merchandise makes me not sad.
Why, then you are in love.
Oh, fie.
Not in love neither, then let us say you are sad, because you are not merry. For it's easy for you to laugh and leap and say you are merry, because you are not sad.
Here comes your most noble kinsman, Bassanio, Lorenzo, Gratiano. Fare ye well. We leave you now with better company.
We'll make our leisure to attend on yours.
My lord Bassanio, since we have found Antonio, we too will leave you. But at dinner time, I pray you have in mind where we must meet.
I will not fail you. You look not well, Signor Antonio. You have too much respect upon the world. They lose it that you buy it with much care. Believe me, you are marvelously changed.
I hold the world but as the world, Gratiano. A stage wherein every man must play his part, and mine a sad one.
Let me play the fool. And with mirth and laughter let old wrinkles come. Let my liver rather heat with wine than my heart cool with mortifying groans. There are a certain type of men whose visages do cream and mantle like a standing pond, and do a willful stillness entertain with purpose to be dressed in an opinion of wisdom, gravity, profound conceit. I'll tell thee more of this another time, but fish not with this melancholy bait, with this fool gudgeon, this opinion. Come, good Lorenzo, fare thee well a while. We'll end our exhortation until after dinner.
Well, we will leave you then till dinner time. I must be one of these same dumb wise men, for Gratiano never lets me speak.
Well, keep my company but 2 years more. Thou shalt not know the sound of thine own tongue.
Fare you well. I'll grow a talker for this year.
Thanks and faith. For silence is only commendable in a neat's tongue dried and a maid not bendable.
Is that anything now?
Gratiano speaks an infinite deal of nothing, more than any man in all Venice. His reasons are as 2 grains of wheat hid in 2 bushels of chaff. You shall seek all day ere you find them, and when you have them, they are not worth the search.
Well, tell me now, what lady is the same to whom you swore a secret pilgrimage that you today promised to tell me of?
'Tis not unknown to you, Antonio, how much I have disabled mine estate. Nor do I now make moan to be abridged from such a noble rate, but my chief care is to come fairly off from the great debts I owe, wherein my time something too prodigal hath left me gauged. To you, Antonio, I owe the most, in money and in love. And from your love I have a warranty to unburden all plots and purposes how to get clear of all the debt I owe.
Well, tell me, Bassanio, I would like to hear what is happening with you. What is the story?
In my school days, when I had lost one shaft, I shot his fellow of the self-same flight, the self-same way with more advised watch, to find the other forth, and by adventuring both, I oft found both. I urge this childhood proof because what follows is pure innocence. I owe you much, and like a willful youth, that which I owe is lost. But if you please to shoot another arrow that self-way which you did shoot the first, I do not doubt as I will watch the aim, or to find both, or to bring ladder hazard back again, and thankfully rest debtor for the first.
You know me well, and herein spend but time to whine about my love with circumstance. And out of doubt, you do me now more wrong than in questioning my uttermost. Therefore, say to me what it is that I should do, that in your knowing may be done by me, and I am pressed unto it. Therefore, speak.
In Belmont is a lady richly left, and she is fair, and fairer than that word. Of wondrous virtues, sometimes from her eyes I did receive fair speechless messages. Her name is Portia, nothing undervalued Decatur's daughter, Brutus Portia. Nor is the wide world ignorant of her worth, for the four winds blow in from every coast renowned suitors, and her sunny locks hang on her temple like a golden fleece, and many Jasons come in quest of her. Oh, my Antonio, had I but the means to hold a rival place with one of them, I have a mind presages me such thrift that I should questionless be fortunate.
Thou knowest that my fortunes are at sea, neither have I money nor commodity to raise the present sum. Therefore go, see what my credit can in Venice do, that shall be racked even to the uttermost, to furnish thee to Belmont, to fair Portia. Go, presently inquire, and so will I where money is, and I no question make to have it of my love or for my sake.
By my troth, Nerissa, my little body is a-weary of this great world.
You would be, sweet madame, if your miseries were in the same abundance as your good fortunes are. Yet, for aught I see, they are as sick that surfeit with too much as they that starve with nothing. It is no mean happiness, therefore, to be seated in the mean. Superfluity comes sooner by white hairs, but competency lives longer.
Good sentences and well pronounced.
They would be better if well followed.
If to do were as easy as to know what were good to do, chapels had been churches and poor men's cottages princes' palaces. But this reasoning is not in the fashion to choose me a husband. The word choose. I can neither choose whom I would nor refuse whom I dislike. Such is the will of a living daughter curbed by the will of a dead father. Is it not hard, Nerissa, that I cannot choose one nor refuse none?
Your father was ever virtuous, and holy men at their deaths have good inspirations. Therefore, the lottery that he hath devised in these 3 chests of gold, silver, and lead, where who chooses his meaning chooses you, will no doubt never be chosen by any rightly, but by one who shall rightly love. But what warmth is there in your affection towards any of these princely suitors that are already come?
I pray thee, overname them, and as thou namest them, I will describe them, and according to my description, level at my affection.
First, there is the Neapolitan prince.
There's a colt indeed, for he doth nothing but talk of his horse. I am much afeard, dear lady, his mother played false with a smith.
And there is the Count Palatine.
He doth nothing but frown. I fear he will prove the weeping philosopher when he grows old, being so full of unmannerly sadness in his youth. I had rather be married to a death's head with a bone in his mouth than to either of these.
What think you of the French lord, Jacqueline?
God made him, and therefore let him pass for a man. In truth, I know it is a sin to be a mocker, but he hath a horse better than the Neapolitans, a better bad habit of frowning than the Count Palatine. He is every man and no man. If I should marry him, I should marry 20 husbands. If he would despise me, I would forgive him, for if he loved me to madness, I shall never requite him.
I like you, the young German, the Duke of Saxony's nephew.
Very vilely in the morning when he is sober, and most vilely in the afternoon when he is drunk. When he is best, he is little worse than a man. When he is worse, he is little better than a beast.
He should offer to choose, and choose the right casket. You should refuse to perform your father's will if you should refuse to accept him.
Therefore, for fear of the worst, I pray thee, set a deep glass of Rhenish wine in the contrary casket. For if the devil be within, and temptation without, I know he will choose it. I will do anything, Nerissa, ere I'll be married to a sponge.
You need not fear, lady, the having any of these lords. They have acquainted me with their determinations, which is indeed to return to their homes and trouble you with no more suit, unless you may be won by some other source than your father's imposition, depending on the caskets.
If I live to be as old as Sibylla, I shall die as chaste as Diana, unless I be obtained by the manner of my father's will. I am glad this parcel of wooers are so reasonable, for there is not one among them but I dote on his very absence, and I pray God grant them a fair departure.
Do you not remember, lady, in your father's time, a young Venetian, a scholar and a soldier, that came hither in the company of the Marquis of Montfort?
Yes, Bassanio, as I think he was so called.
True, madam, he of all the men that ever my foolish eyes looked upon was the best deserving of fair lady.
I remember him well, and I remember him worthy of your praise. How now, what news?
The 4 strangers seek for you, madam, to take their leave, and there's a forerunner come from a 5th, the Prince of Morocco, who brings word that the prince, his master, will be here tonight.
If I can bid the 5th welcome with so good a heart as I can bid the other 4 farewell, I shall be glad of his approach. If he have the condition of a saint and the complexion of a devil, I would rather he would shrive me than wive me. Come, Nerissa. Sirrah, go before. Whilst we shut the gates upon one wooer, another knocks at the door.
3,000 ducats, well.
Aye, sir, for 3 months.
For 3 months, well.
For the which, as I told you, Antonio shall be bound.
And Antonio shall be bound, well.
May you stead me? Will you pleasure me? Shall I know your answer?
3,000 ducats for 3 months, and Antonio bound.
Your answer to that?
Antonio is a good man.
Have you heard any imputation to the contrary?
Oh, no. By saying he is a good man, I mean you to understand that he is sufficient, but his means are in supposition. For ships be but boards, sailors be but men. There be water rats and land rats, water thieves and land thieves, I mean pirates. And then there is the peril of water, rocks, and winds. But nevertheless, he is a good man. He is sufficient. I think I will take Antonio's bond.
Be assured you may.
Oh, be assured I may, and to be assured I will bethink myself. May I speak with Antonio?
If it please you to dine with us.
I will buy with you, sell with you, walk with you, talk with you, but I will not eat with you, drink with you, or pray with you. What news on the Rialto? Who is he who comes?
This is Signor Antonio.
Rest you fair, good Signora. Your worship was the last man in our mouths.
Shylock. Though I neither lend nor borrow, by taking nor by giving of excess, to supply the ripe wants of my friend, I'll break a custom. Is he yet possessed how much he would?
Aye, 3,000 ducats.
And for 3 months.
Oh, I did forget. For 3 months, you did tell me so. And so, there is my bond. Methought you said you neither borrow nor lend upon advantage.
I never do use it.
Well, when Jacob grazed his Uncle Laban's sheep...
Well, what of him? Did he take interest?
No, not take interest, not, as you would say, directly interest. Mark what Jacob did.
This was a venture, sir, that Jacob served for, a thing not in his power to bring to pass, but swayed and fashioned by the hand of heaven. Was this inserted to make interest good, or is your gold and silver ewes and rams?
Oh, I cannot tell. I make 'em breed as fast. Note you, good Signor.
Mark you this, Bassanio, the devil can cite scripture for his purpose.
3,000 ducats. 'Tis a good round sum. 3 months out of 12. Oh, then, let me see. My rate...
Well, Shylock, shall we be beholding to you?
Signor Antonio, many a time and oft in the Rialto you have rated me about my usury and my money, and I have borne it with a patient shrug, for sufferance is the badge of all my tribe. You call me misbeliever, cutthroat dog, and spit upon my Jewish gabardine, all for want of that which is mine own. Well, now it seems you need my help.
What should I say? Should I say, have the dog money? Is it possible for a cur to lend 3,000 ducats? Or should I bend low and in a bondsman key with bated breath and whispering humbleness say thus, good sir, you spit upon me Wednesday last. You scourged me another day. Another time you called me dog. And for these courtesies I should lend you thus much monies?
I am as like to call thee so again, to spit on thee again, to spurn thee too. If thou wilt lend this money, lend it not as to thy friend, for when did friendship take a breed of barren metal of a friend? But lend it rather to thine enemy, who if he break, thou mayest with better face exact the penalty.
My, how you storm! Well, I would be your friend and have your love. This kindness I will show.
This were kindness.
This kindness will I show. Go with me to a notary, seal me there your single bond, and in a merry sport, if you repay me not on such a day, at such a time, in such place, the sums or sums as noted in the bond, let the forfeit be nominated as an equal pound of your fair flesh, to be taken and cut off from what part of your body that pleaseth me.
Content her faith, I'll seal to such a bond, and say there is much kindness in the Jew.
You shall not seal to such a bond for me. I'll rather dwell in my necessity.
Oh, fear not, man, I will not forfeit it. Why, within these 2 months, that's a month before this bond expires, I do expect thrice 3 times the value of this bond. Come. Let us go. In this there can be no dismay. My ships come home a month before the day.
Conscience will serve me to run from this Jew, me master. The fiend is at mine elbow and tempts me, sighing to me, Gobbo, Launcelot, Gobbo, good Launcelot, use your legs, take the sword, run away. Me conscience says, no, take heed, honest Launcelot, take heed, honest Gobbo, do not run, scorn running with thy heels. Well, the most courageous fiend bids me pack. For the heavens, rouse up a brave mind, says the fiend, and run. Well, me conscience, hanging about the neck of me art, says very wisely to me, me honest friend Launcelot, being an honest man's son, or rather, an honest woman's son, for indeed me father did something smack, something grow to. He had a kind of taste. Well, me conscience says, Launcelot, budge. Budge, says the fiend. Conscience, say I, you counsel well. Say I, you counsel well. To be ruled by me conscience, I should stay with the Jew, me master, who, God bless the mark, is a kind of devil. And to run away from the Jew, I should be ruled by the fiend, who, saving your reverence, is the devil himself. Certainly the Jew is the very devil incarnate. And me conscience is but a kind of art conscience to offer to counsel me to stay with the Jew. The fiend gives the more friendly counsel. I will run, fiend, me heels are at your command, I will run. And as I have set up me rest to run away, so I will not rest till I have run some ground. Me master's a very Jew. Give him a present, give him a halter.
for I am a Jew if I serve the Jew any longer. I am famished in his service. You may tell every finger I have with me ribs. Now, Master Bassanio, who gives rare new liveries. Oh, rare fortune, here comes the man. Oh, God bless your worship. I am glad you are come. If I serve not you, I shall run as far as God has any ground.
Gramercy, what's the wrong with me?
Well, the short and the long is I serve the Jew and have a desire. Well, to be brief, the very truth is that the Jew, having done me wrong, does cause me and shall fruitify unto you.
What would you?
Serve you, sir?
I know thee well, thou hast obtained thy suit. Shylock thy master spoke with me this day, and hath preferred it, if it be preferment, to leave the service of a rich Jew, to become the follower of so poor a gentleman.
Oh, the old proverb's very well parted between me, Master Shylock, and you, sir. You have the grace of God, and he hath enough.
Thou speak'st it well. Take leave of thy old master, and go inquire my lodging out. Give him a livery more guarded than his fellows. See it done.
I shall leave the Jew in the twinkling of an eye, thank you, sir.
Signor Bassanio,
Gratiano,
I have a suit to you.
you have obtained it.
You must not deny me. I must go with you to Belmont.
Why then you must. But hear me, Gratiano. Thou art too wild, too rude and bold of voice, something too liberal. Pray thee, take pain to allay with some cold drops of modesty thy skipping spirit, lest through thy wild behavior I be misconstrued in the place we go to and lose my hopes.
Signor Bassanio, if I do not put on a sober habit, talk with respect and swear, but now and then, use all observance of civility as one studied in a sad ostench to please his grandam, never trust me more.
Well, we shall see your bearing.
But not tonight. You shall not gauge me by what we do tonight.
No, that were pity. I would entreat you rather to put on your boldest suit of mirth, for we have friends that propose merriment. But fare you well, I have some business.
And I must to Lorenzo and the rest, but we will see you at supper time.
Sorry that we'll leave my father so. Our house is hell, and thou, a merry devil, did rob it of some taste of tediousness. But fare thee well. There is a ducat for thee. And Launcelot, soon at supper shalt thou see Lorenzo, who is thy new master's guest. Give him this letter. Do it secretly. And so farewell. I would not have my father see me and talk with thee.
Oh, adieu. Oh, tears exhibit me tongue. Most beautiful pagan, most sweet Jew. Oh, if a Christian did not play the knave and get thee, I am much deceived. But these foolish drops do something drown me manly spirit. Adieu.
Farewell, good Launcelot. Alack, what heinous sin is it in me to be ashamed to be my father's child? But although I am daughter to his blood, I am not to his manners. Lorenzo, if thou keep promise, I shall end this strife, become a Christian, and thy loving wife. Nay, we will sink away in supper time, disguise us at my lodging, and return all in an hour.
We have not made good preparation.
We have not spoke as yet of torchbearers.
'Tis vile, unless it be careful planned, and in my mind, better not undertook.
'Tis now but 4 o'clock. We have 2 hours to furnish us. Friend Launcelot, what's the news?
I shall please you to break up this. It shall seem to signify.
I know the hand, in faith. 'Tis a fair hand, and wider than the paper it writ on is the fair hand that writ.
Love news and faith.
By your leave, sir.
Whither goest thou?
To bid me, old master the Jew, to sup tonight with me new master the Christian.
Hold here. Take this. Tell gentle Jessica I will not fail her. Speak it privately. Go, gentlemen. Will you prepare you for this mass tonight? I am provided of a torchbearer.
Aye, Mary, I'll go about it straight.
So will I.
Meet me and Gratiano at Gratiano's lodging some hour hence.
'Tis good we do so.
Was not that letter from fair Jessica?
Oh, I must needs tell thee all. She hath directed me how I shall take her from her father's house, what gold and jewels she is furnished with, what pageant suit she hath in readiness. For the Jew, her father from heaven, it will be for his gentle daughter's sake. Never dare misfortune cross her foot, unless she do it under this excuse, that she is issue to a faithless Jew. Come, go with me, peruse this as thou goest. Fair Jessica shall be my torch-bearer.
Well, thou shalt see, thine eyes shall be thy judge, the difference of old Shylock and Bassanio. What, Jessica? Thou shalt not gormandize with him the way thou hast with me. What, Jessica? Or sleep and snore and rend apparel out. What, Jessica, I say?
Why, Jessica!
Who bid thee call? I did not bid thee call.
Your worship was wont to tell me I could do nothing without bidding.
Call you? What is your will?
Jessica, I am bid forth for supper. Look to my house. Oh, wherefore should I go? I am not bid for love. They flatter me. Oh, yet I'll go in hate and feed upon the prodigal Kristen. Oh, I am most loath to go. There is an ill brewing in my rest, for I did dream of money bags tonight.
I beseech you, sir, go. Me young master don't expect your reproach.
So do I his. Jessica, hear me. Look to my house. And when you hear the drum, do not allow the shallow foppery of music to enter my sober house. Oh, by Jacob's staff, I swear, I have no need of dining forth tonight. But I shall go. Go, Sirrah, before me. Tell him I will come.
I will go before, sir. Mistress, look out a window. For all this there will come a Christian by, will be worth a Jewess's eye.
What says that fool of Hagar's offspring?
His words were farewell, mistress. Nothing else.
Well, the fool is kind, but a huge feeder. Snail slow in profit, and he sleeps by day. Therefore I'll part with him, and part with him to someone who will help him waste his borrowed purse. Go in, Jessica. Do as I say. I may return immediately. Shut doors behind you.
Farewell. And if my fate be not crossed, I have a father, you a daughter, lost.
This is the penthouse under which Lorenzo did desire us to make stand.
This hour is almost past.
'Tis marvel he outstays his hour, for lovers ever run before the clock.
Oh, 10 times faster Venus as pigeons fly to steal love's bond new made, than they are wont to keep obliged and faith unforfeited.
That ever holds. For who riseth from a feast with that same keen appetite that he sits down?
Here comes Lorenzo. More of this hereafter.
Sweet friends, I thank you for your time. Not I, but my affairs have made you wait. When you shall please to play the thieves your wives, I'll watch as long for you then. Approach, here dwells my father Jew. Ho, who's within? Who are you? Tell me for more certainty, albeit I swear I do know your tongue. It's Lorenzo, and your love. Lorenzo, certainly. Now, who knows but you, Lorenzo, whether I am yours? Heaven and thy thoughts are witness that thou art. Here, catch this casket. It is worth the pains. I am glad 'tis night you do not look on me, for I am much ashamed of my exchange. But love is blind, and lovers cannot see the pretty follies that they themselves commit. For if they could, Cupid himself would blush to see me thus transformed to a boy. Descend, for you must be my torch-bearer. What, must I hold a candle to my shames? They in themselves, good sooth, are too light. Why, 'tis an office of discovery, love, and I should be obscured. So are you, sweet, even in the gentle garnish of a boy. But come at once, for the closed night doth play the runaway, and we are stayed for at Bassanio's feast. I will make fast the doors, gild myself with more ducats, and be with you straight.
By my hood, a Gentile, no Jew.
Oh, beshrew me, but I love her heartedly, for she is wise if I can judge of her, and fair she is if that mine eyes be true, and true she is as she hath proved herself, and therefore, like herself, wise, fair, and true, shall she be placed on my constant soul.
Go, draw aside the curtains. And to discover the several caskets, noble prince. Now make your choice.
The first of gold, which this inscription bears, who chooseth me shall gain what many men desire. The third, silver, which this promise carries, who chooseth me shall get as much as he deserves. The third, dull lead, with warning as all blunt. Who chooseth me must give and hazard all he hath. How do I know if I do choose the right?
The one of them contains my picture, prince. Choose it, and I'm yours withal.
So God direct my judgment. Let me see. What says this leaden casket? Who chooseth me must give and hazard all he hath. Must give? For what? For lead? Hazard for lead? This casket threatens. Men who hazard all do in hopes of fair advantage. A golden mind, no stoops for shows of dross. Honor to give, nor hazard aught for lead. What says the silver with a virgin youth? Who shooteth me shall get as much as he deserves. As much as he deserves. Pause there, Morocco, and weigh thy value with an even hand. As much as I deserve, what has the lady? I do in birth deserve her, and in graces, and in qualities of breeding. But more so, in love I do deserve. What says the silver? One of these contains her heavenly virtue. What if I stayed here and chose no further? Let us see what's gave us in gold. Who chooseth me shall gain what many men desire. What ask the lady? The whole world desires her. I need to choose one of these three. 'Twas in lead that she is contained. 'Twere damnation to think so base a thought. It is too gross to bib her sackcloth in an obscure grave. Or shall I think it's in silver that she's immured, being 10 times undervalued to dried gold? O sinful thought, never so rich a gem was set worse than gold. We have in England a coin that bears the figure of an angel, stamped in gold, but inscribed upon. But herein lies an angel in golden bed. Deliver me the keys, I've made my choice, and thrive as I may.
Here, if you find that wherein I am contained, I am yours.
Oh, hell! What have we here? A carrion death? With an empty eye and a scroll within? Let me read it. All that glistens is not gold. Have you heard that story told many a life a man has sold? But my outside to behold, gilded tombs to worms enfold. Have you been as wise as bold, young in limbs and judgment old? Your answer has not been in scroll, fare you well, your suit is cold. Cold indeed, and labor lost. Farewell heat and welcome frost. Portia, I have too grievous a heart to take a tedious leave, therefore, loser's part.
go. Let all of his complexion choose me so.
Why, man, I saw Bassanio under sail with him. Gratiano has gone along and in their ship. I am sure Lorenzo is not.
The villain Jew with outcries raised the Duke, who went with him to search Bassanio's ship.
He came too late. The ship was under sail, but there the Duke was given to understand, seen in a gondola together, were Lorenzo and his amorous Jessica. Besides, Antonio certified the Duke. They were not with Bassanio and his ship.
I never heard a passion so confused, so strange, outrageous, so variable as the dog Jew did utter in the streets. My daughter. Oh, my ducats. Oh, my daughter. Fled with a Christian. Oh, my Christian ducats. Justice. The law. My ducats. And my daughter. A sealed bag. 2 sealed bags of ducats. Of double ducats. Stolen from me by my daughter. And jewels. 2 stones. 2 rare and precious stones. Stolen by my daughter. Find the girl. Justice. She hath the stones upon her. And my ducats.
Why, all the boys in Venice follow him crying his stones, his daughter, and his ducats.
Let good Antonio see he keep this day, or he shall pay for this.
Very well remembered. I reasoned with a Frenchman yesterday, who told me in the narrow seas that part the French and English, there miscarried a vessel of our country richly brought. I thought of him, Antonio, when he told me, and wished in silence it were not his.
You were best to tell Antonio what you hear, yet do not suddenly, for it may grieve him.
Do be so.
Quick, pray thee, draw the curtain straight. The Prince of Arragon hath ta'en his oath, and comes to his election presently.
Behold the several caskets, noble prince. If you find that wherein I am contained, straight shall our nuptial rites be solemnized. But if you fail without more speech, my lord, you must be gone from hence immediately.
I am enjoined by oath to observe 3 things. First, never to unfold to anyone which casket 'twas I chose. Next, if I fail of the right casket, never in my life to woo a maid in way of marriage. And lastly, if I do fail in fortune of my choice, immediately to leave you and be gone.
To these injunctions everyone doth swear who comes to hazard for my worthless self.
And so have I addressed me. Fortune now to my heart's hope. Gold, silver, and base lead. Who chooseth me must give and hazard all he hath. You shall look fairer ere I give or hazard. What says the golden chest? Ha, let me see. Who chooseth me shall gain what many men desire. What many men desire. That many may be meant by the full multitude that choose by show, not learning more than the Fondi doth teach, which prize not to the interior, but, like the martlet, builds in the weather on the outward wall, even in the road and force of casualty. I will not choose what many men desire, because I will not jump with common spirits and rank me with the barbarous multitudes. Why then, to thee, thou silver treasure house, tell me once more, what title dost thou bear? Who chooseth me shall get as much as he deserves. I will assume desert. Give me a key for this and instantly unlock my fortunes here.
Too long a pause for that which you find there.
What is here? A portrait of a blinking idiot presenting me a schedule! I will read it. How much unlike art thou to Portia? How much unlike my hopes and my deservings? Who chooseth me shall have as much as he deserves. Did I deserve no more than a fool's head? Is that my prize? Are my deserts no better?
To offend and to judge are distinct offices and of opposed natures.
What is here? The fire 7 times tried this. 7 times tried that judgment is, that did never choose amiss. Some there be that shadows kiss, such have but a shadow's bliss. There be fools alive I wis, silvered o'er, and so is this. Take what wife you will to bed, I will ever be your head. So be gone, you are sped. Still more fool I shall appear by the time I linger here. With 1 fool's head I came to woo, but I go away with 2. Sweet to do, I'll keep my oath, patiently to bear my wrath.
So hath the candles singed them off. Oh, these deliberate fools! When they do choose, they have the wisdom by their wit to lose.
Ancient saying is no heresy. Hanging and wiving caused by destiny.
Come, draw the curtain, Nerissa.
Madam, there is a lighted at your gate a young Venetian, one that comes before to signify the approaching of his lord, from whom he bringeth sensible regrets. To it, besides commends and courteous breath, gifts of rich value. Yet I have not seen such an ambassador of love. A day in April never came so sweet to show how costly someone was at hand, as this forerunner comes before his lord.
No more, I pray thee! I'm half afeard thou wilt say an Ani is some kin to thee, thou spent such high day wit in praising him. But come, Nerissa, for I long to see quick Cupid's post that comes so mannerly.
Bassanio, Lord love, if thy will it be.
Now, what news on the Rialto?
Why, it lives there unchecked. That Antonio had the ship of rich lading wrecked on the narrow seas. The good ones, I think they call that place a very dangerous, flat, and fatal, where the carcasses of many a tall ship lie buried. So they say, my gossip report me an honest woman of her word.
I would she were as lying a gossip as ever nibbled ginger and made her neighbors believe she wept for the death of a 3rd husband.
Come the full stop?
I would say as thou. The end is she hath lost a ship.
I would it might prove the end of his losses.
Let me say amen betimes, lest the devil cross my prayer, for here he comes now, in the likeness of a Jew. How now, Shylock, what news among the merchants?
Who you know, none so well as you, of my daughter's flight.
That's certain. I, for my part, knew the tailor that made the wings she flew withal.
And Shylock, for his own part, knew the bird was fledged, and then it is the complexion of them all to leave the dance.
She will be damned for it.
That's certain, if the devil may be her judge.
My own flesh and blood to rebel.
There is more difference between thy flesh and hers than between jet and ivory. More difference between thy bloods than between red wine and white wine. But tell us, do you hear whether Antonio hath had any loss at sea or no?
There I have another bad match. A bankrupt, a prodigal, who dare show his head in the Rialto. A beggar, who was wont to come so smug in the mark. Let him look to his bond. He was wont to call me usurer. Let him look to his bond. He was wont to lend out money for Christian grace. Let him look to his bond.
I am sure if he forfeit, thou will not take his flesh. What's that good for?
To feed fish withal. If nothing else, it will feed my revenge. He has disgraced me and hindered me $500,000. Laughed at my losses, mocked my gains, scorned my nation, cooled my enemies, and heated my friends. And for what reason? I am a Jew. Hath not a Jew eyes? Hath not a Jew hands? organs, dimensions, senses, passions, fed by the same food, hurt by the same weapons, subject to the same illnesses and cured by the same means, heated and cooled by the same winters and summers as a Christian is. If you do prick us, do we not plead? If you tickle us, do we not laugh? And if you poison us, do we not die? And if you wrong us, have we not revenge? If we are like you and all the rest, we shall resemble you in that. If a Jew wrong a Christian, what is his humility? Revenge. If a Christian wrong a Jew, what is his sufferance by Christian example? Why, revenge. This villainy you teach us, I will execute, and it will go hard, for I will better the instruction.
Gentlemen, my master Antonio is at his house and requires to speak with you both.
We've been up and down to seek him.
I pray you, tarry. Pause a day or two before you hazard, for in choosing wrong, I lose your company. Therefore, forbear a while.
Let me choose, for as I am, I live upon the rack.
Upon the rack, Bassanio, then confess, what treason is there mingled with your love?
None but that ugly treason of mistrust, which makes me fear the enjoying of my love. There may as well be amity in life between snow and fire, as treason and my love.
Aye, but I fear you speak upon the rack, where men in force do speak anything.
Promise me life, and I'll confess the truth.
Huh, then confess and live.
Confess and love had been the very sum of my confession. Oh, happy torment when my torturer doth teach me answers for deliverance. But let me to my fortune and the casket.
Away then. I am locked in one of them. If you love me, you will find me out. Nerissa and the rest stand all aloof.
So may the outward shows be least themselves. The world is still deceived with ornament. In law, what please sowed, tainted and corrupt, but being seasoned with a gracious voice. In religion, what damned error, but some sober brow will bless it and approve it with a text, hiding the grossness with fair ornament. There's no vice so simple as assume some mark of virtue on his outward parts. And here choose I. Joy be the consequence.
How all the other passions fleet to air as doubtful thoughts and rash embrace despair and shuddering fear and green-eyed jealousy. O love, be immoderate, allay thy ecstasy, in measure reign thy joy, scant the success. I feel too much thy blessing, make it less, for fear I to fight.
What find I here? Fair Portia's counterfeit. What demigod hath come so near creation? Yet look how far the substance doth wrong the shadow, and under prizing it so far the shadow doth limp behind the substance. Here is the scroll, the continent and summary of my fortune. You that choose not by the view, chance as fair and choose as true. Since this fortune falls to you, be content and seek no new. If you be well pleased with this, and hold your fortune for your bliss, turn you where your lady is, and claim her with a loving kiss. A gentle scroll. Fair lady, by your leave, I come by note to give and to receive, like one of two contending in a prize that thinks he hath done well in people's eyes, hearing applause and universal shout, giddy in spirit, still gazing in a doubt whether these pearls of praise be his or no. So thrice fair lady, stand I even so, as doubtful whether what I see be true until confirmed, signed, ratified by you.
You see me in Bassanio as I stand, such as I am, though for myself I would not be ambitious in my wish to wish myself much better. But for you I would be trebled 20 times myself. I might in virtues, livings, friends exceed account. But the full sum of me is sum of something, which, to term in gross, is an unlessoned girl, unschooled, unpracticed. Happy in this, she is not yet so old, but she can learn. Happier in this, she is not bred so dull, but she can learn. Happiest of all, she commits herself to you and yours to be directed as her lord, governor, king. Myself and what is mine to you and yours is now converted. This house, these servants, and myself are yours, my lord. I give them with this ring, which when you part from, lose, or give away, shall see the ruin of my love and be my vantage to exclaim on you.
Madam, you have bereft me of all words. Only my blood speaks to you in my veins, and there is such confusion in my powers as after some oration fairly spoke by a beloved prince. There doth appear among the buzzing, pleased multitude, where every something, being blent together, turns to a wild of nothing, save of joy, expressed and unexpressed. But when this ring parts from this finger, then parts life from hence. Oh, then be bold to say Bassanio is dead.
My lord and lady, it is now our time that have stood by and seen our wishes prosper. To cry good joy, my lord and lady.
My lord Bassanio and my gentle lady, I wish you all the joy that you can wish, for I am sure you can wish none from me. And even at that time that your honors me to solemnize the bargain of your faith, I do beseech you, let me be married too.
Oh, with all my heart, so thou canst get a wife.
I thank your lordship, you have got me one. My eyes, my lord, can look as swift as yours. You beheld the mistress. I beheld the maid. Your fortune stood upon the caskets there, and so did mine too, as the matter falls. With oaths of love, at last, if promise last, I got a promise of this fair one here, provided that your fortune claimed her mistress.
Is this true, Nerissa?
Madame, it is, so you stand pleased with all.
And do you, Gratiano, mean good faith?
Yes, faith, my lord.
Our feast shall be much honored in your marriage.
We'll play them for the first boy for 1,000 ducats.
What, and stake down?
No, you shall not play for 1,000 ducats and stake down. But who comes here? Lorenzo? And his infidel, and our old Venetian friend Salarino?
Oh, Lorenzo and Salarino, welcome hither. If that the youth of my new interest here have the power to bid you welcome. By your leave, I bid my very friends and countrymen, sweet Portia, welcome.
I do, my lord. They are entirely welcome.
I thank your honor. For my part, my lord, my purpose was not to have seen you here, but in meeting with Salarino, he did entreat me past all saying nay to come with him along.
I did, my lord, and I have reason for it. Signor Antonio commends him to you. I would you had won the fleece he hath lost.
There's something in yon same paper that steals the color from Bassanio's cheek. What, some dear friend dead? Else nothing in the world could so turn the constitution of any constant man. What, worse and worse? With leave, Bassanio, I am half yours, therefore give me half of anything this same paper brings you.
Oh, sweet Portia, here are a few of the unpleasantest words that ever blotted paper. Gentle lady, when I did first impart my love to you, I should then have told you that I was worse than nothing. For indeed I have engaged myself to a dear friend, engaged my friend to his mere enemy to feed my means. Here is a paper, lady. The paper is the body of my friend, and every word in it a gaping wound issuing lifeblood. But is it true, Salarino? Have all his ventures failed? What, not one hit? And not one vessel escaped the dreadful touch of merchant-marring rocks?
Not one, my lord. Besides, it should appear if he had the present money to discharge the Jew, he would not take it. Never did I know a creature that did bear the shape of man, so keen and greedy to confound a man. He applies the Duke at morning and at night, and doth impeach the freedom of the state, if they deny him justice. 20 merchants, the Duke himself, and the magnificos of greatest port have all persuaded with him. But none can drive him from this envious plea of forfeiture of justice and his bond.
When I was with him, I had heard him swear to Tubal and Chess, his countrymen, that he would rather have Antonio's flesh than 20 times the value of the sum that did owe him. I know, my lord, if law, power, and authority deny not, it will go hard at poor Antonio.
Is it your dear friend that is thus in trouble?
The dearest friend to me. the kindest man, the best conditioned and unwearied in doing courtesies, and one in whom the ancient Roman honor appears more than any that draws breath in Italy.
What sum owes he the Jew?
For me, 3,000 ducats.
What, no more? Pay him 6,000 and deface the bond. Double 6,000 and treble that before a friend of this description shall lose a hair through Bassanio's fault. First, go with me to church and call me wife, and then away to Venice, for never shall you lie by Portia's side with an unquiet soul. You shall have gold to pay this petty debt 20 times over. When it is paid, bring your true friend along. Nerissa and myself, meanwhile, will live as maids and widows. But come, away, for it is hence upon your wedding day. Bid your friends welcome, spread a merry cheer, as you are dear bought, so I love you, dear. But first, let me hear the contents of your letter.
Sweet Bassanio, my ships have all miscarried. My creditors grow cruel. My estate is very low. My bond to the Jew is forfeit, and since in paying it, it is impossible that I should live. All debts are cleared between you and I, if I might but see you at my death. Notwithstanding, use your pleasure. If your love do not persuade you to come, let not my letter.
Oh, love, dispatch all business and be gone.
Since I have your good leave to go away, I will make haste. But till I come again, no bed shall e'er be guilty of my stay, no rest to be interposer twixt us twain.
Jailer, look to him. Talk not to me of mercy. This is the fool that lent out money gratis. Jailer, look to him.
I pray you, good Shylock, hear me speak.
I will not hear thee speak. I will have my bond. I have made an oath in heaven that I will have my bond. Thou call'st me dog before thou hast a cause. Because I am a dog, beware my fangs. The Duke shall give me justice.
Please, Shylock, hear me speak.
I will not hear thee speak. I will have my bond. I will have my bond, so speak no more. Follow not. I'll have no speaking. I will have my bond.
It is the most impenetrable cur that ever kept with man.
Let him alone. I'll follow him no more with bootless prayers. He seeks my life. His reason well I know. I oft delivered of his forfeitures many that had made moan to me. Therefore he hates me.
I am sure the Duke will never grant this forfeiture to hold.
The Duke cannot deny the course of law, for the commodity that strangers have with us in Venice would much impeach the justice of his state, for the trade and profit of the city consisteth of all nations. Therefore go. These griefs and losses have so baited me that I shall hardly spare a pound of flesh tomorrow for my bloody creditor. Well, jailer, on. I pray Bassanio come tomorrow to see me pay his debt. And then I cannot.
Madam, although I speak it in your presence, you have a noble and true conceit of godlike amity, which appears most strongly in bearing thus the absence of your lord. But you know to whom you show this honor, how true a gentleman you send relief, how dear a lover, my lord, your husband. I know you would be prouder of the work than customary bounty can enforce you.
I never did repent for doing good, and shall not now. For in companions that do converse and waste the time together, whose souls do bear an equal yoke of love, there needs be like proportion of lineaments, of manners, and of spirit, which makes me think that this Antonio must needs be like my lord. If it be so, how little is the cost I have bestowed in purchasing the semblance of his soul from out this state of hellish misery. Lorenzo, I commit into your hands the husbandry and manage of my home until my lord's return. For mine own part, I have breathed towards heaven a sacred vow to live in prayer and contemplation, attended only by Nerissa here, until her husband and my lord's return. There is a monastery 2 miles off, and there we will abide. I do desire you not to deny me this imposition, which my love and some necessity now lays upon you.
Madam, I shall obey you in all fair commands.
My people do already know my mind, and shall acknowledge you and Jessica in place of Lord Bassanio and myself. And so farewell, until we meet again.
Fair thoughts and happy hours attend on you. I wish your ladyship all hearts content.
Thank you, Jessica. I wish it back on you. Fare thee well. Now, Balthazar, as I have ever found thee honest true, so let me find thee still. Take this same letter, and use thou all the endeavor of a man in speed to Padua. See thou render it into my cousin's hand, Dr. Bellario, and look what notes and garments he doth give thee. Bring them, I pray thee, with imagined speed to the Tranact, to the common ferry that trades to Venice. Waste no time in words, but get thee gone. I shall be there before thee.
Madam, I will go most convenient speed.
Come, Nerissa, I have work in hand you yet know not of. We shall see our husbands before they think of us.
Shall they see us?
They shall, but in such a habit that they shall think we are accomplished with that which we lack. I'll bet thee any wager when we're both accoutred like young men, I'll prove the prettier fellow of the two, and yield my dagger with the braver grace, and speak between the change of a man and boy with a reed voice, and turn 2 mincing steps into a manly stride, and tell quaint lies how honorable ladies sought my love, which, I denying, they fell sick and died. Then I'll repent and wish they had not killed themselves. I have 1,000 raw tricks of these bragging jacks, which I shall practice.
Or shall we turn to men?
Fie, what a question's that, if thou wert near a lewd interpreter. But come, I'll explain all when we're in the coach, which stays for us at the park gate. Haste away, we must measure 20 miles today.
Yes, truly, for look ye, the sins of the father are laid upon the children. Therefore, I promise ye, I fear you. I was always playing with you, and so now I speak me agitation of the matter. There is but one hope in it that could do be of good cheer. And truly I think you are dead. There is but one hope that could do you any good, and that is but a kind of bastard hope neither.
And what hope were that, I pray thee?
Mary, you may partly hope that your father got you not, that you are not the Jew's daughter.
That were a kind of bastard hope indeed. So the sins of my mother should be visited upon me?
Mary, then, truly you are damned both my father and mother. Thus when I shut Scylla, your father, I fall into Charybdis, your mother. Well, you are gone, bad way.
I shall be saved by my husband. He hath made me a Christian.
The Lord to blame me. We were Christians now before, yet as many as could live well one by another. This making Christians will raise the price of all. If we grow old to be poor leaders, we shall shortly not have a rasher upon the coast for money.
I'll tell my husband, Launcelot, what you say. Here he comes.
I shall grow jealous of you shortly, Launcelot, if you thus get my wife into corners.
Nay, you need not fear us, Lorenzo. Launcelot and I are out. He tells me plainly there is no mercy for me in heaven because I am a Jew's daughter. And he says that you are no good member of the Commonwealth, for in converting Jews to Christians, you raise the price of pork.
I shall answer that better to the Commonwealth than you can the getting up of the Negro's belly. The more is a child by you, Launcelot.
Much that the more should be more than reason. If she be less than an honest woman, she's more than I took her for.
How every fool can play upon the word. I think the best grace of wit will shortly turn to silence, and discourse grow commendable in none only but parents. Go in, sirrah, bid them prepare for dinner.
It is done, sir.
Then bid them prepare dinner.
That is done too, sir. Only cover is the word.
Will you cover then, sir?
Not so, sir, neither. I know me duty.
Yet more quarreling with occasion. Will you show the whole wealth of thy wit in an instant? I pray thee, plain meaning. Go into thy fellows, bid them cover the table, serve in the meat, and we will come in to dinner.
For the table, sir, it shall be served in. For the meat, sir, it shall be covered. And for you coming into dinner, sir, it shall be as humours and conceit shall govern.
Oh, dear discretion, how his words are suited! The fool hath planted in his memory an army of good words, and I do know a many fools that stand in better place, garnished like him, that for a tricksy word defy the matter. But how cheerest thou, Jessica? And now, good sweet, say thy opinion. How dost thou like the Lord Bassanio's wife?
Past all expressing, it is very meet the Lord Bassanio live an upright life. For in having such a blessing in his lady, he finds the joys of heaven here on earth. And if on earth he do not mean it, then...
Even such a husband hast thou of me, as she is for a wife.
Nay, but ask my opinion, too, of that.
I will anon first let us to dinner.
Nay, let me praise you while I still have a stomach.
No, I pray thee let it serve for table talk. I will digest it.
Well, I'll set you forth.
Is Antonio here? Ready, so please your grace.
I am sorry for thee. Thou come to answer a stony adversary, an inhuman wretch, incapable of pity, void and empty from any dram of mercy.
I have heard your grace have taken great pains to qualify his rigorous course, but that he stand obdurant and no lawful means can carry me from his envy's reach. I do oppose my patience to his fury, and am armed and with a quietness of spirit to suffer the very rage and tyranny of his.
Go one and call the Jew into the court.
He's ready at the door. He comes, my lord.
Make room and let him stand before our face. Shylock, the world thinks, and I think so too, that thou but leadest this fashion of thy malice to the last hour of act, and then 'tis thought that thou wilt show mercy and remorse, more strange than is thy strange apparent cruelty. And where thou now exactest the penalty, which is a pound of this poor merchant's flesh, thou wilt not only loose the forfeiture, but touch with human gentleness and love, forgive a moiety of the principal, glancing an eye of pity on his losses which have of late so huddled on his back, and now to press a royal merchant down. We all expect a gentle answer, Jew.
I have possessed your grace of what I do propose, and by our holy Sabbath I have sworn to have the due and forfeiture of my bond. Deny it, and let the danger light upon your charter and your city's freedom. You will ask me, I'd rather have a pound of carrion flesh rather than 3,000 ducats. I'll not answer that. Nor can I give a reason, nor will I accept a lodged hatred and a certain loathing I bear Antonio that I pursue this losing suit against him. Art thou answered?
This is no answer, thou unfeeling man, to excuse the current of thy cruelty.
I am not bound to please thee with my answers.
Does every man kill the thing they do not love?
Hates any man the thing he will not kill?
Every offense is not a hate at first.
Wilt thou have a serpent sting thee twice?
What? Think thou question with the Jew? Thou may as well go stand upon the beach and bid the main flood bait his usual height. Thou may as well question with the wolf why he has made the ewe bleat for the lamb. Thou may as well forbid the lofty mountain pines to wag their high tops and make no noise when they are fretted with the gusts of heaven. Thou may as well do anything most hard as to seek to soften that, than which what's harder? Jewish heart. Therefore I do beseech you, make no more offers, use no further means, but with plain and brief conveniency, let me have judgment, and the Jew his will.
For thy 3,000 ducats here is 6.
If every ducat in 6,000 ducats were in 6 parts, and each part a ducat, I would not draw them. I will have my bond.
How shalt thou hope for mercy, rendering none?
What judgment should I fear, having done no wrong? You have among you many a purchased slave, which, like your asses and your dogs and your mules, you use in abject and slavers parts, because you bought them. Shall I say to you, let them be free, marry them to your heirs? You will answer, the slaves are ours. So I shall answer you. This pound of flesh, which I demand of him, is dearly bought. 'Tis mine, and I will have it. If you deny me, fie upon you. The laws of Venice are worth nothing. I stand for judgment. Shall I have it?
Upon my power, I may dismiss this court, unless Bellario, a learned doctor whom I sent for to determine this, come here today.
My lord, here stays without a messenger with letters from the doctor, new come from Padua.
Bring us the letter. Call the messenger.
Good cheer, Antonio. Let man courage yet. The Jew shall have my flesh, blood, bones, all ere thou shalt loose for me one drop of blood.
I am a tainted wither of the flock, meetest for death. Thou cannot be better served, Bassanio, than to live and write mine epitaph.
Come you from Padua? From Bellario?
From both, my lord. Bellario greets your grace.
Why dost thou whet thy knife so earnestly?
To cut the forfeiture from that bankrupt there.
Not on thy soul, but on thy soul, harsh Jew. Thou makest thy knife keen, but no metal can, no, not the hangman's axe, bear half the keenness of thy sharp envy. Can no prayers pierce thee?
None that thou hast wit enough to make.
Be thou damned, inexorable dog, and for thy life let justice be accused. Thou dost almost make me break with my faith, to hold opinion with Pythagoras that the souls of animals do infuse themselves into the trunks of men. Thy currish spirit governed a wolf, hanged for human slaughter, who even from the gallows did his fell soul fleet. And when thou liest in thy unhallowed dam, it did infuse itself in thee, for thy desires are wolfish, bloody, starved, and ravenous.
Till thou canst rail the seal from off my bond, thou dost offend thy throat to speak so loud. Repair thy wit, good youth, or it'll fail. I stay on the law.
This letter from Bellario doth commend a young and learned doctor to our court. Where is he?
He attendeth here hard by to know your answer whether you'll admit him.
Oh, with all my heart. Meantime, the court shall hear Bellario's letter.
Your grace shall understand that at the receipt of your letter I am very sick. But in the instant that your messenger came, in loving visitation was with me a young doctor of Rome. His name is Balthazar. I acquainted him with the cause and controversy between the Jew and Antonio the merchant. We turned our many books together. He is furnished with my opinion, which bettered with his own learning, the greatness whereof I cannot enough commend, comes with him at my importunity to fill up your grace's request in my stead. I beseech you, let his lack of years be no impediment to let him lack a reverend estimation, for I never knew so young a body with so old a head. I leave him to your gracious acceptance, whose trial shall better publish his commendation.
you hear the learned Bellario, what he writes? And here I take it as the doctor come. Give me your hand. Come you from Bellario?
I do, my lord.
You are welcome. Take your place. Are you acquainted with the difference that holds the present question in the court?
I'm informed thoroughly of the cause. Which is the merchant here, and which the Jew?
Antonio and old Shylock, both stand forth.
Is your name Shylock?
Shylock is my name.
Of a strange nature is the suit you follow, yet in such rule that the Venetian law cannot impugn you as you do proceed. You stand within his danger, do you not?
Aye, so he says.
Do you confess the bond?
I do.
Then must the Jew be merciful?
By what compulsion must I? Tell me that.
The quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as a gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It is twice blessed. It blesseth him that gives and him that takes. 'Tis mightiest in the mightiest. It becomes the throned monarch better than his crown. His scepter shows the force of temporal power, the tribute to awe and majesty wherein doth sit the dread and fear of kings. It is an attribute to God himself, and earthly power doth then show likest God's when mercy seasons justice. Therefore, Jew, though justice be thy plea, consider this, that in the court of justice none of us shall see salvation. We do pray for mercy, and that same prayer doth teach us all to render the deeds of mercy. I've spoke thus much to mitigate the justice of thy plea, which if thou proceed, this strict court of Venice must needs give sentence against the merchant there.
My deeds upon my head. I'll have the forfeiture of my bond.
I pray you, is he not able to discharge the money?
Yes, here I tender it for him in the court. Yea, twice the sum. If that will not suffice, I will be bound to pay it 10 times over on forfeit of my hands, my head, my heart. If this will not suffice, it must appear that malice bears down truth. And I beseech you, wrest once the law unto your authority. To do a great right, do a little wrong, and curb this cruel devil of his will.
It must not be. There's no power in Venice can alter a decree established. 'Twill be recorded as a precedent, and many an error by the same example will rush into the state. It cannot be.
Daniel, come to judgment. Daniel, oh wise young judge, how I do honor thee.
I pray you, let me look upon the bond.
Here 'tis. Good judge, here it is.
Shylock, there's thrice thy money offered thee.
I have sworn an oath in heaven. Shall I lay perjury on my soul? No, not for Venice.
Why, this bond is forfeit, and lawfully by this the Jew may claim a pound of flesh to be by him cut off nearest the merchant's heart. I pray thee, take thrice thy money, bid me tear the bond.
When it is paid according to the tenor. It doth appear you are a worthy judge. You know the law. Your exposition has been most sound. I charge you by the law, whereof you are an outstanding pillar. Proceed to judgment. By my soul, there is no power in the tongue of man to alter me. I stay on my bond.
I do beseech the court to give judgment.
Why then here it is. You must prepare your bosom for his knife.
Oh, noble judge, oh, excellent young judge.
For the intent and purpose of the law hath full relation to the penalty, which here appeareth due upon the bond.
'Tis very true, oh, wise and generous judge, thou art more elder than thy looks.
Therefore lay bare your bosom.
His breast, so says the bond, does it not? Those are the very words.
Have you balance here to weigh the flesh?
I have them ready.
And have you some surgeon, Shylock, in your charge to stop his wounds lest he do bleed to death?
Is that expressed in the condition?
Not so expressed, but what of that? 'Twere good you do so much for charity.
It's not here. It isn't in the bond.
You, merchant, have you anything to say?
Not little. I am armed and well prepared. Give me your hand, Bassanio. Fare you well. Grieve not that I have fallen to this for you, for herein fortune shows herself more kind than is her custom.
It is still her use to let the wretched man outlive his wealth and view with hollow eye and wrinkled brow an age of poverty. From such lingering penance of misery doth she cut me off. Commend me to your honorable wife. Tell her the process of Antonio's end. Say how I loved you. Speak me fair in death, and when the tale is told, bid her be judge whether or not Bassanio had once a love. Repent but that you lose your friend, and he repents not that he pays your debt, for if the Jew do cut but deep enough, I'll pay it presently with all my heart.
Antonio, I have a wife as dear to me as life itself. But life itself, my wife in the world, are not esteemed with me above thy life. I would lose all. I sacrifice all here to this devil to deliver you.
Your wife would give you little thanks for that if she were here to hear you make the offer.
I have a wife whom I protest I love. I would she were in heaven so she could entreat some power to change this cursed Jew.
'Tis well you offered behind her back, the which would make else an unquiet house.
Please be the Christian husbands. I have a daughter. Would she was wed to the stock of Barabbas rather than a Christian. We trifle time. Come, pronounce sentence.
A pound of that same merchant's flesh is thine. The court awards it, and the law doth give it.
Most rightful judge.
And it is to be cut off nearest the merchant's breast. The law awards it, and the court doth give it.
Most learned judge, a sentence. Come prepare.
Tarry a little. There is something else. There's no mention here of blood. The bond states a pound of flesh. Therefore, take thy bond, take thou thy pound of flesh. But in the cutting it, if thou dost shed one drop of Christian blood, thy lands and goods are by the laws of Venice confiscate unto the state of Venice.
Oh, upright judge, mark Jew, a learned judge.
Is that the law?
Thyself shall see the act, for as thou urgest justice, rest assured thou shalt have justice, more than thou desirest.
Give me my principal and let the Christian go.
Here is this. Soft! He shall have justice. Soft, no haste. He shall have nothing but the penalty.
A learned judge, mark Jew, a learned judge.
Therefore prepare thee to cut the flesh. See thou shed no drop of blood, nor cutt'st thou more or less than just a pound of flesh. If thou cutt'st more or less than just a pound, nay, if the scale do turn in the estimation of a hair, thou diest, and all thy goods are confiscate.
A second Daniel, a Daniel Jew. Now, infidel, we have you on a hip.
Why doth the Jew pause? Take thy forfeiture.
Shall I have barely my principal?
I have it ready for thee.
He hath refused it in open court. He shall merely have justice and his bond.
Then I'll take thrice the offer and let the Christian go.
And thou shalt have nothing but the forfeiture, to be so taken at thy peril, Jew.
A second Daniel, still say I, a Daniel Jew, I thank you for teaching me that word.
Devil give him good of it. I'll stay no longer.
Tarry, a Jew. The law hath yet another hold on you. See, it is enacted in the laws of Venice that if it be proved against an alien that by direct or indirect attempts he seek the life of any citizen, the part against the which he doth contrive shall seize one half his goods. The other comes to the privy coffer of the state, and the offender's life lies at the mercy of the Duke against all other voice. In which predicament I say thou standst, for it appears by manifest proceeding that indirectly and directly too thou hast contrived against the very life of the defendant, and thou hast incurred the danger formerly by me rehearsed. Down, therefore, and beg mercy of the Duke.
Beg that thou mayest leave to hang thyself. Oh, but thy goods be confiscated to the state. Thou hast not left the value of a court. Therefore must thou be hanged at the state's charge.
To show the difference of our spirits, I pardon thee thy life. For half thy wealth, it is Antonio's. The other half to the general state, which humbleness may drive unto a fine.
I for the state, not for Antonio.
Pardon not my life and all. Pardon not that. You take my house when you do take the prop that does sustain it. You take my life. Will you take the means whereby I live?
What mercy can you render him, Antonio?
A halter gratis, nothing else for me.
So please my lord the Duke and all the court, to quit his fine for half his goods I am content, so that he let me have the other half in use, so that I may render it unto the gentleman that lately stole his daughter. 2 things provided more, that for this favor he presently become a Christian. The other, that he do record here in court a gift of all he dies possessed unto his son Lorenzo and his daughter.
He shall do this, or I recant the pardon I late pronounce it here.
Art thou content? What dost thou say?
I am content.
Clerk, draw a deed of gift.
I pray you, let me go from hence. I'm not well. Send the deed after me, and I will sign it.
Get thee gone, but do it.
In christening thou shalt have 2 godfathers. Had I been your judge, you would have had 10 more to lead you to the gallows, not the font!
Sir, I entreat you home with me to dinner.
I humbly do desire your grace of pardon. I must away tonight to Padua, and it is meet I presently set forth.
I am sorry your leisure serves you not. Antonio, gratify this gentleman, for in my mind you are much bound to him.
Most worthy gentlemen, I and my friend have been by your wisdom this day acquitted of grievous penalties, in lieu whereof 3,000 ducats due unto the Jew we freely cope your courteous pains withal.
And stand indebted over and above in love and service to you evermore.
He is well paid that is well satisfied, and I, considering myself satisfied, am indeed well paid. I pray thee, know me when we meet again. And so I take my leave and bid you farewell.
Dear sir, of force I must attempt you further. Take some remembrance of us, as a tribute, not as a fee. Grant me 2 things, I pray you, not to deny me and to pardon me.
You beg, and therefore I will yield. Give me your gloves. I'll wear them for your sake. And for your love, I'll take this ring. Do not draw back your hand. I'll take no more, and you in love should not deny me this.
Alas, good sir, this ring, it is a trifle. I will not shame myself to give you this.
I'll have nothing but the ring, and now methinks I have a mind to it.
There's more depends on this than on the value. The dearest ring in Venice I will give, and find it out by proclamation. Only for this, I pray you pardon me.
I see thou art liberal in your offers. You teach me first to beg, and now methinks you teach me how a beggar should be answered.
Good sir, this ring was given me by my wife, and when she put it on, she made me swear I should neither sell, nor give, nor lose it.
That excuse serves many men to save their gifts. And were your wife not a mad woman, she would not condemn you for giving me what I so desire. Well, peace be with you.
My Lord Bassanio, let him have the ring. Let his deservings and my love withal be honored and valued against your wife's commitment.
Go, Gratiano. Run and overtake him. Give him the ring, and bring him if thou canst unto Antonio's house. Away, make haste. Come, you and I will thither presently, and in the morning early we both fly to Belmont. Come, Antonio.
Inquire the Jew's house how. Give him this deed and let him sign it. We'll away tonight and be home a day before our husbands. This deed will be well welcome to Lorenzo.
Fair sir! Fair sir! You are well ordained. My Lord Bassanio, upon more advice, hath sent you here this ring, and does entreat your company at dinner.
That cannot be. His ring I do accept most thankfully, and so I pray you tell him. Furthermore, I pray you show my youth old Shylock's house.
That will I do.
I would speak with you. I'll see if I can get my husband's ring, which I did make him swear to keep forever.
Thou mayest, I warrant. They'll swear they gave the rings to men, but we'll outface them and outswear them too. Hurry, thou knowest where I will tarry.
Come, good sir, will you show me to this house?
The moon shines bright, such a night as this, where the sweet wind did gently kiss the trees and they did make no noise. On such a night, Troilus, methinks, mounted the Trojan walls and sighed his soul over to the Grecian tents where Cressid lay that night.
In such a night did Thisbe fearfully overtrip the dew and saw the lion's shadow ere himself and ran dismayed away.
In such a night stood Dido, with a willow in her hand, upon the wild sea banks, and did waft her love to come again to Carthage.
In such a night did Medea find the enchanted herbs that did renew old Aeson.
In such a night did Jessica, with an unthrift love, did steal from the wealthy Jew, and ran us from Venice as far as Belmont.
In such a night did young Lorenzo swear he loved her well, stealing her soul with many vows of faith, and ne'er a true one.
In such a night did pretty Jessica, like a little shrew, slander her love, and he forgave it her.
I would outnight you did nobody come, but hark, I hear the footing of a man.
Who comes so fast in silence of the night?
Stephano is my name, and I bring word that my mistress will before the break of day be here at Belmont. She doth stray about by holy crosses, where she kneels and prays for happy wedlock hours.
Who comes with her?
None but the holy hermit and her maid. I pray you, is my master yet returned?
He is not, nor have we not heard from him. But go in, I pray thee, Jessica, and ceremoniously let us prepare some welcome for the mistress of the house. My friend Stephano, signify, I pray you, within the house your mistress is at hand, and bring forth your music into the air. Is not the smallest orb which thou beholdest, and in his motion, like an angel sings, such choirings in immortal souls.
I am never merry when I hear sweet music.
The reason is your spirits are attentive.
That light we see is burning in my hall. How far the little candle throws his beams. So shines a good deed in a naughty world.
When the moon shone, we did not see the candle.
So doth the greater glory dim the less. A substitute shines brightly as a king unto the king be by, and then his state empties itself like an inland brook into the sea waters. A music, hark.
It is your music, madam of the house.
Nothing is so good I see without respect. Methinks it sounds much sweeter than by day.
Silence bestows that virtue on it, madam.
The crow doth sing as sweetly as the lark when neither's attended, and I think the nightingale, should she sing by day when every goose is cackling, would be thought no better a musician than the wren.
That is the voice, or I am much deceived of Portia.
He knows me as the blind man knows the cuckoo by the bad voice.
Welcome home, madam. Your husband is at hand. I hear his trumpets. There are no telltales, madam. Fear you not.
This night, methinks, is but the daylight sick. It looks a little pallor. 'Tis a day such as the day when the sun is hid.
Day with the antipodes, if you would walk in absence of the sun.
Let me give light, but let me not be light, for a light wife doth make a heavy husband, and never should Bassanio be for me. But God sort all, you are welcome home, my lord.
I thank you, madam. Give welcome to my friend. This is the man, this is Antonio, to whom I am so infinitely bound.
I should think you would be much bound to him, for as I hear, he was much bound for you.
No more than I am well acquitted of.
You are most welcome to our home, my lord. It must appear as more than words, and so I scant this breathing courtesy.
By yonder moon, I swear you do me wrong. In faith, I gave it to the judge's clerk. Would he were gelt that had it for my part, since you do take it, love, so much to heart.
A quarrel? Oh, already? What's the matter?
About a hoop of gold, a paltry ring she did give me, whose posy was for all the world like Cutler's poetry upon a knife. Love me and leave me not.
What talk you of the posy or the value? You swore to me when I did give it you that you would wear it till your hour of death, and that it should lie with you in your grave. Though not for me, yet for your vehement oaths, you should have been respective and have kept it. Gave it a judge's clerk. No, God's my judge. The clerk will ne'er wear hair on his face that had it.
He will, and he lived to be a man.
Aye, if a woman lived to be a man.
By this hand, I gave it to the judge's clerk. He was a kind of boy, a little scrubbed boy. No higher than myself, a prating boy. He was the judge's clerk. He begged the ring of me, and I could not for my heart deny it him.
You were to blame, I must be plain with you, for parting so slightly with your wife's first gift, a thing stuck on with oaths upon your finger, and so riveted with faith unto your flesh. I gave my love a ring and made him swear never to part with it, and there he stands. I would dare swear for him he would not lose it, nor pluck it from his finger for the wealth the world masters. Now, in faith, Gratiano, you give your wife too unkind a cause of grief, and were to me I should be mad at it.
Why, I were better to cut my left hand off and swear I lost the ring defending it.
My Lord Bassanio gave his ring away to the judge that begged it and deserved it to, and then his clerk, who took some pains in writing, begged mine, and neither man nor master would take aught but the 2 rings.
What ring, my lord? Not that I hope which you received of me.
If I could add a lie unto a fault, I would deny it, but you can see my finger hath not the ring upon it. It is gone.
I'll ne'er come in your bed until I see the ring.
Nor I in yours till I again see mine.
Sweet Portia, if you did know to whom I gave the ring, if you did know for whom I gave the ring, and would conceive for what I gave the ring, and how unwillingly I left the ring, when naught would be accepted but the ring, you would abate the strength of your displeasure.
If you knew the virtue of the ring, or half her worthiness who gave the ring, or your own honor to contain the ring, you would not have parted with the ring. Nerissa here teaches me what to believe. I'll die before some woman had the ring.
No, madam, by my honor, by my soul, no woman had it but a civil doctor, which did refuse 3,000 ducats of me and begged the ring, the which I did deny him. My honor would not let gratitude so much besmear it. Pardon me, gentle lady, for by these blessed candles of the night, had you been there, I think you would have begged the ring of me to give the worthy doctor.
Let not that doctor e'er come near my house while he hath got the jewel I loved and that which you did swear to keep for me. I'll be as liberal as you. I'll not deny him anything. Not my body, nor my husband's bed. Lay not a night from home. Watch me like Argus. For if you don't, if you leave me alone, I'll have that doctor for my bedfellow.
And I his clerk. Therefore be well advised how you do leave me to mine own protection.
Well, do you so. Let me not meet him then, for if I do, I'll mar the young clerk's pen.
I am the unhappy subject of these quarrels.
You are welcome notwithstanding.
Portia, forgive me this enforced wrong. And in the hearing of these many friends, I swear by thine own fair eyes, wherein I see myself.
Mark that! In both my eyes he doubly sees himself. We'll swear by your double self, and there's an oath of credit.
Nay, but hear me. Pardon this fault, and by my soul I swear I never more will break an oath with thee.
I once did lend my body for his wealth, but for the man who had your ring had quite miscarried. I dare be bound again, my soul upon the forfeit, that your lord shall never more break faith advisedly.
Then you shall be his surety. Give him this, and swear he keep it better than the last.
Here, my lord Bassanio, swear to keep this ring.
Good heavens! It is the same I gave the doctor.
I had it of him. Pardon me, Bassanio, but with this ring the doctor lay with me.
And pardon me, my gentle Gratiano, for that same scrubbed boy, the doctor's clerk, in lieu of this last night did lie with me.
This is like the mending of highways in summer when the ways are fair enough. What are we, cuckolds? Here we have deserved it?
Speak not so grossly, you're all amazed. Here, take this letter, read it at your leisure. It comes from Padua, from Bellario. There you shall see that Portia was the doctor, Nerissa there her clerk. Lorenzo will swear we set off not long after you, and only but now returned. I have not yet entered my house. Antonio, you are most welcome, and I have better news in store for you than you expect. Take this letter. There you shall see that 3 of your argosies have richly come to harbor suddenly. You'll not guess but what strange accident I chanced on that letter.
I am dumb.
Were you the doctor, and I knew you not?
Were you the clerk that is to make me cuckold?
Aye, but the clerk that never means to do it. Unless you live until he be a man.
Sweet doctor, you shall be my bedfellow. When I am gone, then lie with my wife.
Oh, sweet lady, you have given me life and living, for here I read for certain that all my ships have safely come to Rome.
Lorenzo, my clerk hath some good comforts too for you.
Aye, and I'll give them him without a fee. There do I give to you and Jessica from the rich Jew a special deed of gift, after his death of all he dies possessed of.
Fair ladies, you drop manna in the way of starved people. It is almost morning, and yet I know you are not yet satisfied. Let us go in, and there we shall answer all interrogatories most faithfully.
Let it be so. And the first interrogatory my Nerissa shall be sworn on is whether she had rather wait till the next night or go to bed now, it being 2 hours today. Would the day come, I would wish it dark that I were couching with the doctor's clerk. Well, I live, I'll fear no other thing. So sore is keeping safe Nerissa's ring.